Welcome to Sam Outside. I'm Salmon. I'm outside with a simple reminder. Just breathe. That's it. That's simple. And yet, for something that we do without thinking about it, it does deserve some deeper consideration. What I mean by just breathing is when I'm out in nature, I'm going to make a deliberate intent to really focus on breathing through my nose. Anytime I'm outdoors, even when I'm exercising, if I'm on a walk, I'm very aware of my breath. And it's one of the first things that I invite people to do when they're participants in a guided forest therapy session. Once we get into the forest and start working on things, and I start to invite people to just find a safe spot. Normally we're not too far apart, as long as they can hear my voice. And I invite them to take the next couple moments to participate in some sensory work with their eyes closed, so that we can go through each of our dominant senses in turn. But I start the experience with breath work. So the idea is to inhale fully and completely through the nose, if possible. It's not always possible for some people. And then to hold that breath at the top for a couple moments, which isn't natural. And then to completely and fully exhale all the way, and then hold that at the bottom, right? Now, if you want numbers to go with that, box breathing is a 4, inhale, hold for 4 across the top, exhale fully completely for 4, hold at the bottom again for a 4 count, and repeat. So inhale, hold, exhale, hold. So box breathing, 4 and 4 and 4. Now, if you want to get a little bit more breath work, takes a little more effort, but try elongating those slow, deep inhalations over a 7, possibly an 8 count. Hold for as long as you can. Maybe not the 7 or 8, and then fully and deeply, slowly exhale over that same 7 or 8 count. And, try and hold for as long as you can, but probably not for the 7 or 8. All right, you'll have a different effect on that. So do it for a couple cycles, 4 or 5 cycles, and you will notice a difference. Now, the act of being in nature calms. And then you add a little breath work into that, and your blood pressure will really start to get lowered a little bit. Really a little bit? A lot. You'll also increase that deepening of an immersion into your surroundings. And while you're breathing with your eyes closed, hopefully through the nose, it makes sense then to focus on our sense of smell. We'll do that for a little bit. What smells what smells are coming on the wind, what smells might be on us that we've brought with us, depending if you're sitting or standing, or if you've got something nearby. Are you smelling that? Time of day, time of year, so many different experiences. I can walk the same path every day and experience new smells, new air moving around, new sights, play of shadow and dark, like all of it. It's new experiences, but it all starts with the breath work. So if I can get people to focus on their breath work, do some sensory work, that's a great foundation for the immersion that's going to take place through the rest of the experience, which might be as long as 2 hours, sometimes 3. And depending on how many people are in my group, and the amount of conversations and discussions happen while we're holding council, right? Just a little sharing experience we try and do after every invitation. We can spend quite a bit of time, and we don't cover a lot of ground. In fact, the guided forest therapy walk is just that. It's a walk. It's not a hike. We don't have to cover a lot of ground, but I always do like to participate in a mixed forest, preferably coniferous, and I always like to have access to water. It's got the most amount of biodiversity, and so that zone between water and land, I've got access to the most amount of different kinds of living things, which will stimulate sight, sound, smell, variations in size and color, and all of it. So for me, the breath work is so very important in many aspects. When I'm finding myself ruminating, when I'm finding myself feeling overwhelmed, when I'm finding myself stressed, right? When parts of me start twitching that ought not to twitch, I start to really focus on my breath work, and it works relatively quickly. Not quite instantly, but yeah, it takes a little bit of work. And after years of practice, it just starts to happen naturally. So it's hard to do this while I'm walking and talking, but I do make an effort to inhale through the nose, exhale. Now, the benefits of really focusing on those inhalations through the nose is because of the amazing things that happen when we take air in through our nose, through our sinuses. There's cooling, there's moistening, there are receptors that are in our nasal cavity that connect very specifically to our brain. And all of that is missed when we take that breath in through the mouth. So even on this warm day, I am getting a different cooling effect in my body. I'm regulating my body temperature a little bit differently if I can really focus on those inhalations through my nose. Exhale through the mouth if you need to, right? But do it fully and completely, which might require slowing down. In order to focus on that breath work, you might have to slow down your cadence, slow down your pace while you're moving through nature, or stop and then resume some regular breath work. And while you're doing that, maybe close your eyes. When you're inhaling deeply through the nose, focus on what you're smelling and then what you're hearing, what you're feeling as the air moves over your skin. And that's nature connection. That's nature healing and nature calm. And for me, it all starts with breath work. From the moment I wake, we take it for granted. We're very good at it. So we're not. So there are some considerations, and you can go down that rabbit hole, and there are people whose profession it is to help mentor and share and train people to breathe intentionally. So it starts with box breathing and go from there. Hey, thanks for watching. Good luck finding time outside, doing some connections. Keep breathing. I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching.